My name's Andrea Weber. This is Meghan Adamsky. We have the pleasure of working together at Selkirk Elementary School with a great team, and we work in the French immersion program. Meghan's the grade 1 classroom teacher, and I'm the learning assistance teacher who supports her class. And we did a spiral of inquiry focusing on literacy with our team, and specifically we looked at reading.
So we started out with observations, of course, and then we asked our students questions that were based on the 4 key questions. And what we found was that students felt fairly positive about their reading, even if they were experiencing difficulties. And they also were identifying that they knew how to decode words, which was fantastic. But what we were seeing in our observations is that they were only decoding words, which made reading really slow. And when there were words that they knew, they were rushing to the end. And they were very infrequently noticing or correcting their mistakes.
So recognizing this, we chose the focus for our inquiry to be improving students' self-monitoring behaviors during reading with the goal of increasing their rate of self-correction. So we want to teach them how to notice their errors so that they can correct them. So first, in order to allow us to take action, we did some professional learning to extend our own understanding specifically of how to target self-monitoring strategies during reading. We talked to Jane Wilson and did the observation survey training with her. We talked to Christiane Robert, who's at our school as the teacher leader for reading recovery, and armed ourselves with some specific strategies. And then we looked to implement those with our students in 3 ways. First of all, we explicitly taught and modeled for students how to ask themselves self-monitoring questions, and you'll see those up on the slide on the right. Those questions were, does this make sense? Does it sound right? And does that look right? We then provided them with a tool on the right and taught them how to select a strategy to focus on during their reading and also choose a goal for themselves for the number of times they asked themselves during their reading. And so students use that during their independent reading, as you can see on the left. And then as teachers working with students during guided reading, as well as one-on-one, we very intentionally prompted students with those 3 specific questions when we noticed they stopped to encourage them to monitor themselves and hopefully work towards a correction.
So as the spiral started to come around, we asked the questions again, and we continue with our observations. And what we found was that students were starting to self-monitor more, which was really exciting. But even more important is that they were starting to be knowledgeable about the techniques that they were using, which we found evidence of when we did our student-led conferences, and they communicated that information with their families. And just as an example, here we have a student that said, or answered, why is it important to learn to read in French? And he said, because to make my brain work. So they're working their brains. Thank you.